Hey everybody, it's Kevin here. New video. Been a while since I've been able to do one. Been a little under the weather. Pretty busy as well. This one's kind of important. Two topics I really wanted to discuss. The first one is a bit dated, but since I haven't been able to do a video since it all went down, I figured out how to sneak it in here. The first point I wanted to discuss was these tax day tea parties. Now, I'm a big fan of the whole notion of getting rid of federal taxation and keeping government in check. I'm actually quite a proponent for that. The one thing that I found really disturbing about this whole Tea Party thing is it really started as a grassroots movement amongst libertarian minded individuals. And once the idea started to gain ground and gain a strong following, the all of a sudden principled Republicans who are absolutely dying for something to hold on to and grasp and take as their own latched on to the whole idea. And what ended up happening by the time the whole event went down was it had gone from a protest of growing government debt, and overtaxation into a Republican sponsored "We Hate Obama." And that was never what it was intended to be. The fact is, the grassroots people who really got started at the ground level, their primary motivation was not "I hate Obama." It was "I hate Obama and I hated Bush too." It was not about left and right. It was about growing government and the growing reach of government into our lives via taxation. That's what it was all about. And it's important for me to kind of discuss that and get that point out there, because once the Republicans latched onto it, it allowed other mainstream media outlets other than Fox News to take it and twist it and distort it into some sort of politically motivated thing, some right politically motivated thing, and that isn't what it was ever intended to be. So I wanted to just discuss that and kind of get that out of the way. Those tea parties were not intended to be "We hate Obama." They were intended to be "We hate big government," regardless of who's responsible for it, the Republicans or the Democrats. Oink 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 oink. I can imagine just by that little opening, you know exactly the topic I'm going to talk about now. That's right, people, the swine flu. Now, just for the record, I don't mean to make light of the people who have gotten sick and the people who have passed away from it. That's not my intent. My intent is to expose this whole farce for what it actually is, or what it will turn into. Back in 1976, the United States had a little swine flu outbreak. Now, I was too young to be a part of that, but fortunately, the history books have been written and are still accessible. And what we know about the swine flu outbreak in 1976 is one person died from the flu, while 25 died from the forced inoculations. Why is that important? Because history repeats itself. It always does. I know it's a cliche. You've heard it all before. But like I always say about cliches, they wouldn't be a cliche if they weren't based on some bit of truth. So what do I think is going to happen this time? Probably a repeat of what happened in 1976 to the 10th degree. Now you say, to the 10th degree, why the heck would he say that? Well, even just 33 years ago, individuals exercised some degree of pride and some degree of individualism. People took pride in the things that they did, the decisions that they made, control over who they were and their own physical well-being. But now, there is this unimaginable sense of neediness amongst the average people. Well, who's going to do this for me? Who's going to do that for me? Well, where's my bailout? Well, the government needs to fix this. The government needs to do that. That's why I say it'll be to the 10th degree, because the majority of people will look to the government for an answer. And what will that answer be? It will be exactly what it was in 1976, but with a little bit of a twist. The government will eventually force inoculations, but it will go further than that. They won't just force inoculations. The inoculations that they force will be produced and manufactured by politically well connected companies. So, what will actually end up happening is not only will they force inoculations, they'll line their own pockets in the process. I can promise you that's what's going to happen. It is inevitable that 20 years from now, we will find out a group of people within the government who voted to force these inoculations were stockholders in the company that got the contract to provide them. It always happens. Now, the biggest fear that I have isn't so much that somebody's going to line their pockets and that they're going to force inoculations. What I'm concerned with is because of this overriding sense of neediness amongst the people, is what sort of precedent this will set. And I think the precedent it will set is for the government to further extend its overarching control over society, and they will use it to further strip away liberty and personal freedom. That's where this is going. I hope you all are prepared for it. And if these inoculations do happen and they are forced, do what I will do. Give them the finger.